Welcome back to Girl Talk. I have one of my, I'm going to say, longtime friends in this industry. We've known each other about 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
That's a long time friendship.
It is.
It is. We've survived our 3-year marker right now. We've got DeVore Ledridge joining us today. It's been a minute since we've chatted, though, at least like this.
It's been a minute and a whole nother hair color since we've chatted, actually. But yeah.
Well, okay, everyone watching now, if you don't recognize her, well, you probably do as Amelia when her hair was blonde on Bizaardvark, but it has since ended. So with 2019 ending, the show's ending, but you're also taking on the world now as an 18-year-old adult.
I am.
So we got to figure out where you're going.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't worry about you. You're going to be fine.
No, I think I'm fine, like, responsibility-wise. Like, I feel like I know, like, you know, because I don't really know. I was in a long-distance relationship, and he lived in Europe, and so I used to, like, fly to Europe on my own and, like, go in the city and stuff, so I kind of, like, learned how to, like, navigate and, like, do stuff and, like, live on my own.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel, and you mentioned you were in a long-distance relationship before. I actually don't know your current, like, status, because we're catching up, like I said, but do you ever feel as though that you always have to be on, at least when you were doing the whole Disney World, and then finally, sometimes dating, honestly, is hard and feels more difficult because, like, I'm on all day, right, for work. I'm asking, I'm inquiring about people's lives. A lot of times I'm interested. Sometimes I'm faking being interested because that is the job and what it calls for. Okay,
no, I'll give you that.
If I'm not interested, y'all aren't going to be interested, and I genuinely usually am interested. But my question is it ever exhausting to, like, put on all of that in your actual life?
Yes and no. When I'm out here, it's different just because a lot of my friends, like my two, like, bestest friends, they're, like, not in the like, industry business, but like, they have friends and family that are. So no matter what, you're always going to be surrounded by people, especially if you're in this business, that are in the same position as you. So it's kind of like you just know how to act and, like, how to act when you're, like, out in public and stuff like that, like, always being on. The issue that I have is, like, when I'm in my hometown and I'm with my little brother and we, like, go to a swim meet and I just want to, like, chill out and, you know, be with my family and not have to be, like, watching what I'm saying, watching what I'm wearing, like, watching, like, how I present myself. Even though, like, I understand, like, you know, being an adult, I'm still always a representation of Disney and, you know, to, like, my younger audience. And so it's not that I'm saying, like, it's an issue. But I think that, and especially with relationships, like, when I was on Disney, it was really, really hard because whoever I am dating is a representation of me.
Right.
And I am a representation of Disney. So it's kind of like it falls, like, you know, it's like a domino effect, like, of the line. So it's like I had to make sure that, like, that person was well aware of, like, the responsibilities that they would have to carry also, because they just can't be acting all, you know, crazy out here, because then it's going to fall on me, which in turn falls on Disney. So that was really difficult for me because a lot of people, not like anything against them, but they just kind of be like, oh, well, I don't want to deal with that if that's what I'm going to have to you know, deal with. So that was difficult. But I think it's almost like allowed me to present myself in a better way, just kind of being more aware of my surroundings and who's watching me and stuff like that.
It is interesting. You see a lot of people, and I'm a huge Disney fan. We all love Disney, and we always follow these actors that started on Disney throughout their careers and their life. And sometimes you see people trying to get away from the Disney label that they had on them for so long. And maybe now I can kind of see why, is because they don't necessarily want to be a reflection of it anymore because their life choices are now changing, right?
Yes. Well, there's so much to say about that. I understand the people who a lot of people think that, like, Disney is, like, super duper controlling, and, like, I see these things online, like 10 things that Disney stars aren't allowed to do, and it's literally not even that. It's just that we have to understand that they have a specific brand and we are a representation of them. So that point being, I think it's just I don't know, it was never a thing of, like, oh, like, I don't want to be a part of Disney because, like, I will always love them, like, they will always be, like, my family. So I never had an issue, like, if I wanted to do another Disney show, boom, I'll do it. If I go into something more mature or, you know, like an older, more dramatic type role, whatever, depending on whatever I do, I'm fine with that. I'm literally just a very open person. Like, I just love the industry and I love my job, I love what I do, so I'm just very open to doing anything.
Good. Well, everyone, you heard it here. Go book her. She's open. She'll do it. But speaking of, you touched a little bit on it. It feels like you have grown up in this industry, and there's a lot of, I guess I want to go on the theme of friendships. Is there a difference between, are there, like, industry friends versus non-industry friends?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
We're both. Okay?
Yes, we're both. But there's a lot of people that are fake, and there's a lot of people, you know, you'll be like, oh my gosh, hi, how are you? Like, how have you been? Like, text me, like, we should totally hang out.
Exactly.
Never speak to you again. It's just, I really, and I, like, when I say just recently, I mean, like, a month ago, like 2 months ago, just recently figured out, like, how to separate, like, the industry from, like, real true friends. Because I always tried to find friends that were in my same circle, because that's, like, going to events and going to premieres and working and doing promos. Like, those are the people that you're surrounded with. So those are the only people that I'm, like, meeting. I'm not really meeting anybody else. And just by happenstance, I literally met, like, my best friend, Raylan, and she's not really in the industry, like, she has followers, but she's not, like, embedded in, like, that.
She's on your page. Yeah, okay, I saw her. Yeah.
And
she kind of looked like Peyton List, to be honest. I was like, looking, I was like, oh, she started with Peyton, and then I clicked the thing, and I was like, oh, that's not Peyton. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but she's just, she just kind of really, like, showed me, like, I never really knew, like, what true friendship was. I mean, obviously, like, I had friends in my hometown, but I hadn't really experienced that type of friendship and kindness and, like, honesty since I moved out here, and it's just been so, like, refreshing. And I just realized that I don't really know how to explain it. I kept people in my circle because I didn't want to not have anybody, but in turn it was just bringing me down, and I realized that I just, again, like, I had to let go of some people that weren't really healthy for me, and that's, like, the hardest thing to do.
Right.
But I'm just very lucky that, like, I learned that lesson, because at the same time, my best friend was learning that too. She was like, I can't find any people out here that are real and genuine. And
what moment was it that you guys met, or that it clicked? That it was like, what?
Well, we met and we went out. We went to the Crave Cafe.
Okay.
And then we went home and, like, played Guitar Hero. And I think it was that moment.
That moment.
It was that moment right there.
That's so true. Yeah, that's just like, and again, I think that's, anyone can relate to this who are in the industry, not in the industry, or whatever. It is the people. It's not what you're doing really with that friend. It's just like
it's the person themselves. Exactly. And I've always been the type of person that would, you know, advocate and tell, like, even people that I knew where I was giving advice to, and fans and stuff that would DM me, that it is so much better to just have, even if it's one close friend, rather than a huge circle of people that are like, they're kind of my friend, but, like, not really, but, like, there's drama, but, like, not really. You know what I mean? So I was really lucky to take my own advice and just allow myself to have a good group of, like, close friends, and I encourage everybody else to do that as well, because it's so much better.
It's so much better. I was talking to my roommate about this the other day. We were talking about a certain friend of ours, and we're like, you know, that friend does a lot of fun things, but that friend isn't fun. And we realized there's a difference between the two. And I think maybe that's a lot of Hollywood too.
Yeah.
There's this you see a lot of what they're doing, and it's great and fun and whatever, but then it's like, but they boring, you know?
And no shade or drama to, like, anybody in the industry. Just putting that out there, because I don't want anybody to take that negatively.
No, not at all.
It's
for
just
sure.
Like, and again, like, sometimes you click with people, sometimes you don't.
Right.
So,
no, that's universal. It just happens. We are no exception over here. But you did Instagram a caption on a group photo of you and some friends, and you said the key is to find the real people, the people who truly lift you up.
I was at this, like, social media event thing, and, like, I am kind of just, like, cool with, like, everybody. Like, I don't really have, like, beef with anybody. Like, I just, like, you know, coexist with people even if they don't really like me. So, but I, like, pretty much, like, know most everybody, and it was just, like, I was thinking about the people at those social media events, like, the people with, like, those huge amount of followers who, like, everybody wants to be, like, up, like, in the hotel rooms, like, hanging out with and stuff. And I was like, I would really just rather be, like, down here at the pool making TikToks with my close friends and up there trying to get in.
So that's a thing.
Cool people.
So okay, so there's the party that everyone, like, the outside world sees, and then there's, like, what
yes. I think with anything, it's literally almost like a hierarchy, like, whether it's in the business or, like, social media.
I'm not even invited to the parties, so this is new for me. Yeah. Okay.
So that was explaining that picture. It was literally just a thought that popped into my head, and I was like, I would just, I already explained it, but that's where that came from.
Oh, interesting. Wow. We'll have to talk offline about this whole hierarchy of the parties. I'm very interested. Have you ever felt that anyone, I don't know, maybe in the industry or out of it, doesn't really matter, wanted to actually be friends with your character, Amelia, more than you? Was there...
Oh, my... Maybe my grandmother, probably.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Didn't expect that one.
No, I think people kind of, like, sometimes misinterpret my character as being a little bit, like, not rude, but like had a little edge to her. So I don't really know.
She had a confidence about her.
Yes.
That most people wouldn't have at that age, let's say.
I think I probably would have wanted to be friends with her. I think we would have gotten along with like the makeup and beauty and like fashion and all that stuff.
Speaking, okay, now, like we said, I've beat, the horse at this point. You're 18, we know this, and you're moving forward with life. But I'm wondering, I feel like, especially as a, Disney kid, whatever, people want to call it, but it's like society has certain expectations of you, right? Yeah. And where you're going to go, where you've been, who you're with, who you're not with, like everyone has an opinion on everything.
Yes.
How the heck do you handle it? Day by day.
I don't.
Yeah, not at all. My therapist. I don't know.
No, I am in therapy, and honestly, like growing up, like I was so against therapy, like because I've had anxiety. I've had like crippling anxiety since I was so young, and I had a lot of problems with therapists. I could just never find the right one, and that's like the important thing is finding the right one. And I got so discouraged, but I started working with this one therapist, and whoo, girl, this changed my life. But one of the things that I really struggled with is like almost like putting pressure on myself that's not even for myself, but like seeing and putting pressure on myself from like an external point of view, like what I think other people should be like wanting me to do. Like, again, it's always like whenever somebody gets off Disney, they're like, oh, well, they were, almost like a one-hit wonder type thing. Like they had their Disney experience, but they're not really going to get anywhere else. But like if you look, that's really not the case, especially, no. I mean, let me rephrase this. My childhood. Yeah. I mean, we had like Demi and like Selena and like the Jonas Brothers, but like they went on with like their music career rather than acting. I see. And so I just almost feel like a pressure from others, even though it's not directly being spoken to me, that I have to like book something so soon, or that I have to get a project that I'm gonna fizzle out, or that nobody's gonna be interested anymore, or people are gonna start to overlook me. And I think that's really hard because I'm just like beating myself up, and I'm like, like why am I not booking anything? But there's like so many other reasons,
right, of course,
to the industry and all of that stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's just taken time for me to learn to be more kind to myself and not expect things to just come so quickly, and learn that like whatever God's timing is, like that's what's gonna happen, and I just have to allow the universe to work as it does and sit back and relax. And I'm a Gemini, and that's so hard for me to sit back and relax. I can't do it, but I'm trying.
But you're trying.
I'm trying.
I think it's hard, and of course in hindsight it's always like, oh, that's why this didn't work out, or this did, and whatnot. But how do you deal with the in-between? Because sometimes the time is crippling. Like you said, anxiety takes over.
I mean, like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I've been on so many different medications. I've been to so many different doctors, and like it's something that I've always struggled with, and I've always kind of felt like not guilty about, but like embarrassed about. And like as I got older, especially in this business, it's opened my eyes to see that like so many different people struggle with so many different things, and it's like not something that I should be worried about. I'm trying to find the right way to say
No, you're
this.
fine, because it's an anxiety-ridden business. It really is.
It really is. It's the most difficult part is learning how to deal with rejection, and my way of dealing with it is like I'm a Christian, so I have a different like spiritual viewpoint of other people. But my thing is seeing it as if it was never supposed to happen anyways, like if it was never like God's plan or the universe, then I can't be upset over something that was never supposed to happen anyways, because let's say I do book this job and that's great, but then I miss out on an even bigger opportunity. So if I could have just accepted that rejection with gratitude, knowing that something bigger is coming, then that it's kind of like almost just like talking myself down in my mind, you know what I mean?
Or just like having faith in something greater than yourself.
Exactly.
I guess. And sometimes, especially in LA, I feel like that's really hard.
No, it
we are
really
in
is.
this bubble, and we can only see like literally sometimes that big. We're so like,
and you see everybody else on Instagram posting all this stuff, posting them at events, you know, all like them being like, just announced so and so is on this new Netflix movie. Yep. And I think it literally is a waiting game though. Like it's just like repetition of auditions and castings, and just like, you know, getting
hurry
yourself
up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry
up and wait. Also friends, just like reassurance and family of them saying, you know, like this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you love. This is the job that you're in. And I think that, you know, you're going to be able to prosper and not just, you know, be a Disney fallout.
She's not a Disney fallout.
No,
she's not. No, I know. But I can see how it would feel that way at times. And again, it's because what society is telling you, you've heard it, and it's sometimes your biggest insecurity, and then someone like somewhat mentions it, they don't realize like the knife that like just like literally stabs you right
Exactly.
there. And you're like, oh, ow.
But I think even like not like it's not even just a thing with the industry. Like kids feeling pressure that like like all their friends are going to these great colleges and feeling like they have to get into great schools or whether it's even just like a job. So I feel like it's just with everybody that society is like very harsh on making us feel like we have to go in a certain path to be successful. And then if we don't, or we don't do something, or we don't, book a job, get into school, whatever, then like our life is
it's over.
Yeah.
And
that's not true, because so everybody, like I'll even talk about like Jake Paul. Like Jake
was it him that was on Bizaardvark, or was it his brother?
Was Jake.
It was Jake?
Yeah, I learned so much from him. I really did. He taught me a lot of important things, and he wrote something. We bought him this notepad left it in his dressing room, and he wrote something on it like that he was going to tear off and put on his wall, and he never tore it off. And at the end of the season, I got that, I got my mom designed his dressing room, so we got a lot of the stuff back.
That's fun. Okay.
And I cannot remember what it says. It was something like, it just along the lines of he always told me, if you want something or you want to accomplish something, you cannot rely on anybody else. You have to do it yourself. You have to take it upon yourself, and you have to do, believe that you can do it. Otherwise, you just can't rely on other people for your improvement and your success. And so that's one of the things that I've always kept in the back of my mind. If I remember what it was. It said, if it is to be, it has to be me.
Oh, that's good.
That's what it is.
That's powerful.
So, yeah.
I think, and I'm sure you get this a lot too, it's like when we look at a lot of people outside looking at the Paul brothers, there's a certain stigma, positive, negative about them, or there's this misconception that people have that maybe that they aren't deep, and then something like that happens. So there's always layers to people,
There's
right?
always layers.
Yeah, so I'm wondering
Never assume how people present themselves on the internet. Yeah. Again, the thing of seeing everybody's pictures on Instagram, premieres and stuff. Never assume that that's the whole story.
Are there any misconceptions you feel as though people may have about you?
I'm very hyper. I'm very talkative. I'm very bubbly. And when I see people, I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?" And I've told people or had people tell me that they almost perceive me as being fake because I seem so overly nice, and I'm like, "Girl, how can you? How does that correlate?" But I don't really know. I don't know if there's any misconceptions. If there is, please let me know. We'll clear it up.
We'll clear them up for you.
I don't know. I think I sometimes feel as if I can't share too much on my social media about my personal life, but then I also feel like I'm not sharing enough, and that's what I'm really trying to find now is the balance, especially now that I'm not on Disney anymore. I feel like I can, and now that I'm an adult, I feel like I can kind of grow more into myself and be more personal on my social media, but I can never really tell, what's the right balance.
Well, I was going to ask, what is the line for you? Because you are a public figure, and so how much of your life do you feel as though you can make public, and what to you just always, as of now, needs to remain private? That I'm asking you to publicly say.
Yes.
See what happened there? You can work around that.
I get what you're saying. Okay. I get what you're saying. I think my mental health is something that I've always been very open about, even just with friends, with fans, even if I'm at Disneyland giving a Q&A or something. I've struggled with severe depression, severe anxiety, and just a whole spectrum of stuff. And it really did affect me when I was working and I was on set. I'd have panic attacks where I would, literally just be out. I'd literally knock myself out, and we'd have to skip scenes, which is not good.
So that's always open for people, for you to talk about.
But relationships, and I'll almost I'll literally put things in my not my archives, but I'll literally post something, and then 5 seconds later I'll be boop, delete it, because I'm just very scared to be open with that. And I don't know if it's because I still have the mentality of being with Disney and not being able to post whatever, but then it gets into a sense of if everybody sees your relationship, then when you break up, then it's a whole thing, and then then they almost monitor how soon the time frame is, but until you start dating someone else, and then they're oh well, she's moving from guy to guy, person to person, whatever. So it's almost just better to just keep it
we want to keep it private and to ourselves, but then you can't experience so many parts of being in a relationship and being out and holding hands and doing those things. So you do rob yourself one way or the other. It's just how do you like rob yourself less?
No, I've literally been like out with my significant other, and why'd I say it like that? That was weird. I've been out with my person, boyfriend, whatever. I don't even know why I said my significant other. That could have been worded differently.
No, but
I'll have people like I've had like multiple people like take videos, take pictures of me,
it's just like,
and I'm just like, really, like is that necessary?
Yeah.
And then it's almost like I'm fearful that people are gonna like post that, and like if there's a picture of me kissing my boyfriend, and then it's posted, and then Disney sees, how am I gonna deal with that?
That's true. Are you talking past or present?
Past.
Okay.
Past. Because like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm seeing someone right now, or dating someone, but like if they're not in the industry, it's almost unfair for me to be like, okay, like here are all the things that you have to do, that you can't do, that you say, you can't say. You're allowed to pose, you're not allowed to pose. Like being, you know, is like a representation of like me and associated with me and Disney and all that stuff. So it's almost like I feel guilty that like I can't, that I don't want to have to, not like put them through that, but like put them.
They didn't sign up for it if they're not in it. But do you ever kind of experience on the other end of the spectrum where they're like, but like, DeVore, I feel like you're keeping me a secret. Like, I'm proud of this relationship.
No, I've never had that.
Okay,
They've been very understanding, which is
Okay.
great. I think anytime that I've kept my relationships private, like my last relationship, I kept it private for a year. Before I
you
ever did
are
anything.
good. If
But
I
it
need
was
to hide anything, I'm coming to you.
Yes, but it was a mutual thing. It was like a
Okay.
mutual thing because he was on social media too, and he just kind of understood like
Right.
why I had to do it. So I don't think that was really an issue, which I was very thankful for.
Okay, but moving forward, you aren't on Disney any longer.
But that's what I'm saying. But I'm still like
But you
nervous.
still
I'm still
feel that.
scared because I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think in due time. I think everything takes time. You haven't been off that long. Like, you still are getting recognized as your character, so I feel as though it does come in time.
Yes.
But, okay, well, I tried. Everyone
you
out
go.
there, this is what I got for you.
Yes.
And apparently the most you're probably going to get because she's not posting it. So, all right, let's play a little game then.
Oh, gosh.
Going a different direction. And this is just all hypothetical.
Okay.
And I really tried to do something
love that word.
off of like makeup because I know you're into makeup. And then I went relationship route and it's called makeup or breakup.
Oh.
So nothing to do with makeup actually, but like.
I'll give you an applause.
Right?
That's very good.
I tried.
I like that.
So these are hypothetical scenarios in which you have to decide if this person did this, if you could make up with them, or no, this calls for a breakup.
Oh
all
my
right?
goodness. Okay.
If they mistakenly call you their ex's name.
Ooh, I've done that.
Oh, shoot.
I've done
It happens.
My family's done that. I've done that. My mom's done that. My brother's done that. I feel like that's honestly a common mistake. Yeah. It's not anything to get like, I mean, you can be like, that kind of hurt, but it's not anything to be like, you're out, cut it.
It's
We're
an
over.
honest mistake.
So I think I'm good on that one.
All right. If they're still friends with their ex.
Oh, what? My ex, his best friend was his ex, and that's the thing that I mean, but that's like I don't know if like Europeans have like a whole other like, you know, system that they work with. But that's one thing that I learned is like I'm like I'm like best friends with a lot of like the people that I've either like been in relationships with or like was like seeing like, so it's kind of like that. So make up or keep whatever.
Let's see.
Unless the ex is like trying to like advance onto your significant other, then it's like.
Yeah, no.
You gotta cut them out.
Okay, all right. If they prefer you without makeup and ask that you wear less of it. It's like a double-edged sword. It's nice, but you're also like, it's
can I, instead of saying breakup, can I say like have a quiet talk about? Can I say that?
What is it called? A DTR, discuss the relationship.
Yes.
You need one of those. Okay. All right, so you find out the person you're dating had just gotten out of a relationship right before you guys started dating.
Me, like, I can totally feel out a situation and be like, okay, like, this person is completely ready. Mm-hmm. They have separated their emotions from that other person, and they are ready to start, like, a new chapter, new leaf with this relationship. And I think if it was in that sense, and I could really, really see that, then that would be fine. But a lot of the times, you almost have to allow your heart to, like, heal from that before moving on.
It's a mistake to maybe think that you're the exception and that person won't move on just as quickly from your relationship into a next one. So that's like this hard thing.
My mom always told me you'll get them how, wait, what is it?
I don't know, but I think I know where you're going.
It's like you get them how you lost them, or
yep.
what is it? You'll lose
them like
how
you got them.
How you got
there
them.
It
That's
is.
what it was.
Snaps to your mom.
You'll lose them how you got them.
That is so true.
It's so hard.
Okay, then what is something that you could forgive someone for that you would never think that you could, but you've learned that you can, so you'd make up with that person over this? And then what's something for you that is just a red flag breakup? You're not here for it. Definitive, I guess.
I will say what I'm gonna say, but I will get so much hate. Something that I could never forgive someone for is crossing a line of disrespect towards my family. Like, obviously, like, if somebody, they're having a bad day and they're not being, like, so, like, kind, whatever, like, I understand that. But if they're, like, intentionally disrespectful to my family,
no.
boom, they're out. To a certain point, I would forgive them for cheating, and that's only just because I've, like, been, like, on both sides, like, seen, like, my friends been cheated on, but then, like, cheated in a sense that, like, it was there. I mean, there's like,
it's more like complex than just like
so
cheating,
complex.
right? There's so much that goes into
So
someone cheating, I guess.
If someone were to, you know, do something and then come to me right after and be like, hey, look, like, this is what I did, I'm so unbearably sorry, I'm gonna do, like, everything that I can to make this right and gain your trust back. I understand that, like, people are humans and it's a terrible, terrible thing to do, and it seems unforgivable, but it's almost like there's so many more things to hate people for. There's so much worse things. So I honestly think, depending on the type of person that they are, if you really feel like you could trust them and work through it and the relationship is worth saving, then I feel like that's something that I could forgive someone for.
Well, and I think it's easy if you've never been cheated on to be like, oh no, I would never take someone back that cheated. But I think...
But I have been, and so
you're speaking from an experience. And I think also too, with cheating in general or anything, it's not the act itself. The cheating... It's painful and it's wrong, but at the same time, it's not how you handle that. It's the second act. It's act two. I tell people all the time, it's how you handle what you did that I think really shows the true colors, like, of the person.
Yes.
But yeah,
for sure.
We're not like pro cheating. We're not cheating activists over here. We're just saying,
again, don't condone anything. No. But I mean, like,
you could maybe get through that, is what you're saying.
Yes.
But you're so great. I hadn't seen you in so long. We started this podcast. I'm like, who's talkative that I just remember had more to say than we could get in that normal interview setting, right? And it's you. So everyone can follow you where?
On my Instagram. I want to change my Instagram handle to just DeVore, but somebody else has it. I've been working with them for like 3 years to get it, but I'm going to try and get it. But all my social media is DeVore Ledridge, and I can spell it out, or you can look it up on the internet.
DeVore.
Yes, DeVore, and then my last name is Ledridge, Ledridge. Yes.
All right, girl. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Again, anytime, you're welcome back. And if you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do it. I'm not one to beg, but, like, please.
And thank you for watching me talk for however long we've been talking for.
I don't even know. I'm not going to cut this. You're just saying I'm kidding. We'll cut a little bit. All right. Make sure, you do that. Leave a comment. Comment about DeVore, not me. She's more interesting. And
ask me questions if you want me to come back.
Exactly. And then also make sure you hit that subscribe so you know when we have new episodes out, which is every Wednesday. Okay, I'm done talking. Goodbye.
Bye.